gay. They're anti, LGBTQ, RSTWV, whatever the letters are. I still eat their food because they have good food. I don't care about what they believe in. I don't care about what you think of me. I like your food. I'm going to support your company because I like your food. I don't give an F what you think about me.
Yeah, I think the question here is, I think the big question on a lot of people's mind, I think we've gotten past the concept of, can this guy get in the Hall of Fame? Should his political Twitters and beliefs be a part of it? I think most of us are in the agreement of not really. No,
it should, absolutely not.
I mean, looking way back in time, we're going to look back on this and go, political climate was fury and flared, and some stuff went down. And he's also, I don't know, you guys might not know this about him, but his wife is going through cancer treatments that are pretty severe, and he brought that up in his letter. So he's going through a lot, and he's just venting. I don't know that we should
use that out, like Twitter as an outlet.
Yeah,
to vent.
Yeah, and maybe he shouldn't have done that, but he's still a great pitcher. I mean, for me alone, in 2004, when he came back from an 0-3 deficit against the Yankees, he led his team, bloody ankle, passed whiskey around the locker room, drop kick Murphys, blaring on the radio,
and Molly,
bringing it back in a big way to Boston. I think that alone, plus you add the rest of that, tips the scale to me.
That's what we should be talking about. That's the important thing about Schilling. Schilling, all his other shit that we're talking about is meaningless because what he performed on the field, on the diamond, doesn't never represent that.
I said that 10 minutes ago.
I know, but he's still, that performance you're talking about with his busted ankle.
Right.
Yep.
It symbolizes a lot because he came out there when their team really needed him, and he was not healthy. He just had a surgery on that ankle, had a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
Yeah, and also at that time, as a baseball player, as a baseball fan, at that time in 2004, it didn't matter who your favorite team was.
Yeah.
Everybody was a Red Sox fan at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you were a Cardinals fan, obviously, because that's who they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
But that World Series, everybody, it's the same thing as when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016.
Yep.
If your team was not in that World Series, you were a Cubs fan, man, because it was really hard not to be a Cubs fan at that point. Same way for the Red Sox. Everyone, the curse of the Babe, that shit that was going on, and it was so cool to watch that team celebrate. And actually, the hat I'm wearing right now on the underside right here, signed by Johnny Damon, who is a friend of my wife and I. Johnny Damon was the MVP of that. And actually, if I can share the story right now, Todd went with my wife and I to a Johnny Damon event, and I introduced Todd to Johnny Damon, and our listeners would love to hear this. Todd went to Johnny Damon and said, "You can't be better than me at everything." And Johnny Damon said, "I never said I was." And Todd said, "I'm going to beat you in something." And Johnny Damon held up his pint glass,
3/4 full,
pointed to it, and looked at Todd and winked. And then him and Todd proceeded to get into beer chugging contests until Johnny's wife stood up and called a halt to the contest and said, "We're not doing this anymore."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think Todd should challenge him in a pickleball competition since you're the champion.
Well, you need a tennis court first of all, and they're not
I'm
always
sure
at your local bar.
Yeah. I have one at my apartment. You can come anytime.
Right on.
All right,
that should be fun. So I just hope that Curt Schilling gets in there.
I do too. I think so.
I forgive him for what he said.
It doesn't matter what he said.
And
it's about baseball.
It's about baseball at the end of the day.
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, and so should Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yes, both of those.
Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Pete Rose was just,
amazing.
So let's get on to these national basketball actors.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond reportedly may sign with the Nets, which would give them the big man that Todd says he needs to complete himself. I mean, the team. The Nets. The Nets have said they need a big man, or Todd has mentioned they need a big man. They already got some big guys, but they need somebody to come in and play defense. Everybody agrees with that. I think that's going to be interesting. I think that we're kind of following the Nets here. James Harden back, doing a bit better, and the Rockets actually are doing great without him. So I think he lightened their load a little bit.
Well, I'll agree with that. But I like the Drummond. I was unaware of that one.
Yeah.
That for me. That's a huge pick.
I mean, you think about Harden leaving Houston, probably changed the climate there.
It did.
It might have just loosened things up, made it a little bit more.
Can I give you a stat real quick? I don't have all the numbers to it, but I think it was last year when Harden wasn't on the team, they won almost all the games.
Really? Wow.
Like they had a winning percentage as a pair when Harden was on the court. They struggled.
Wow.
But I like the Drummond move. Drummond's what they need. Kyrie Irving seems like he's changing my mind too.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, I didn't think he was. I thought he was going to come in and cause a little controversy because he was also on the same kind of rant we were talking about before with Schilling, in a way, but it affected him. I don't think he said anything, but I think it was. But
yeah,
I think Kyrie Irving. I mean, he's been nothing but a champion, anyways.
Yeah. So LeBron James is on a bit of a losing streak, and some of his frustration showed recently when he did like a shove on Joel Embiid. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, from 76ers.
Yeah.
Embiid.
In a loss. Shoved him on the ground. I mean, basically nothing happened to him. I feel like at this point, LeBron's in that range where he's just going to start body slamming people if he needs to.
No pass interference called on him when he plays cornerback.
Yeah. He just threw the guy on the ground.
It's like Brady's like, we know you're playing with a deflated ball, but go ahead.
Win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, just not a couple weeks before, was it DeMarcus Cousins got ejected?
I'm looking this play.
Did he got ejected?
He got ejected for that graze on the forehead.
That's because he's from Kentucky.
Of
illegal moonshining operations. What's going on there?
Well, he gets. That guy gets a lot of flack, and
he should.
But I don't know
like
about
you said,
that.
acting.
Yeah, he's
There's a lot of acting in basketball, literally.
Yeah, there is.
Well, draw a foul easily.
You can say that, especially with the charge.
Yeah,
the charge,
it's
the
crazy.
charge or the block. The charge, especially, has turned into like a straight FIFA soccer move. Like, oh, you touched me just a little bit, I'm going down. But the
I'm
charge,
gonna fall in
I
and
know,
hold
but
my
the charge
ankle.
sometimes those guys don't even get hit, and they'll
fall.
fall 14 feet behind them, slide, and I was like, man, how did you jump off your toes that hard?
Yeah. and going back to that, the defense stuff you're talking about, I was watching the Magic play this week, and you see guys driving the lane, and a guy's like in the middle of the paint when there's like 6 guys there, and then one guy just takes a spill and like totally flops, and immediately the whistles go off, and the referees start throwing it back the other way. Also in the way that the foul you shoot a 3-point shot, and the way it used to be back in the day is if you're going to shoot a 3-point shot and get fouled, there's got to be some contact. Now it's just like pump fake, the defender goes up in the air, jump into him, throw the ball towards the hoop, and now you just got 3 free throws.
Yeah. I think that's
crazy.
all with
the games are a lot longer.
Yeah, but that's all with the players' agreement bargaining. That they go in there and they're like, hey, we want to play for longer, right? We can't play in the 80s for that long going against Bill Laimbeer. Some of them, Dennis Rodman, that would just jack you up.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's probably one of the biggest. Like, hey, we need to make it stricter, just like they do it on cornerbacks in NFL. Yeah. Cornerbacks now are like they can't do nothing.
Like no contact at all.
Well, in the playoffs they let it go, which I like.
Yeah.
And the NBA will do the same thing.
All the refs.
But guarantee, I will take it. NBA when they go to the playoffs, they're going to cut all that out. They're going to let them play tough.
They're going to let them play. Yeah.
Physical.
That's what I want to see. I don't want to see flags and fouls and every other play. It's annoying.
All right, guys, we're also going to keep an eye on this Jersey trash that washed up on the shore. Actually, it's New York trash that washed up on the shore of New Jersey. And maybe I wouldn't say this to this guy's face because he throws 98 miles per hour. His name's Mike Adams. And this guy was, a stud in college. He pitched in 16 games. And he, earned a little money. And South Jersey jumped in there and decides to try to do his second act. I think he doesn't really look like Dennis Quaid in The Rookie, but he might have just he probably marathon watched The Rookie and just said, you know what, I can do this. If Dennis Quaid can do this, I can do this.
So wait, he was throwing it at a radar gun or something?
Yeah, he
was
got
doing
out
that?
of his car on the side of the road. His girlfriend was in the car screaming at him. He took a couple shots of whiskey, chucked it. There happened to be a scout taking a whiz on the side of the road, turned around, almost pissed on himself, fell down the hill, and then screamed, I want you to play for the Yankees. And he also captured an eel out of the creek.
I can just picture it. I can picture it right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite a story. But yeah, we're going to keep an eye on Mike Adams because I love stories like this in sports. I mean, this guy, let's see what he can do. He's made it into the the lower leagues. He's going to keep putting some time in and working on himself and training.
Minor league deal.
We might see him. We might see him. Mike Adams.
Okay.
All right,
Remember
guys.
the name. Remember the
So
name.
I'm leaving on that story. It's because it's a heartfelt story, and I think it's going to carry us through the week. Adios, amigos.
Well, thank you, Brando.
You're welcome.
We are getting hungry, and you are listening to Ballbusters. We will be right back with some ribs and some good brews.
You're listening to Ballbusters.
To expect from me. The worst you get is the best you see. I'm going crazy, am I really alive? If everyone follows, will we ever survive? I sometimes wonder if we'll get out, dead or alive.
Welcome back to Ballbusters. I think we're going to have a little orgasm in all of our mouths with these ribs that Danny Feedback has brought.
Yeah.
And the brews that Brando has brought.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
We got a little, since it's Pro Bowl weekend, we're going to bring a couple Pro Bowl sauces. All right, they made it into the playoffs, but, they couldn't make it to the big bowl. But we brought them by today. PB and Jay Cutler made an appearance, and we got kiwi lime pie. So instead of the wings, we switch it up. We're doing a little English-style short rib here, a little flank rib. We'll see what happens. So it's changing up a little bit. What kind of brews are we matching up
We've
there
got
today?
3 brews, and they're a little hard to match up today. We got the PB and J Cutler.
All right.
And then, is that what you said?
Yep.
And then we got the kiwi and lime, right?
Kiwi lime pie, yep.
Kiwi lime pie. Which one? Obviously, the kiwi lime pie is sweeter. Which one? The cheese is on the kiwi lime pie.
Yep, yeah, cream cheese. It's going to be a little more tart.
A little bit more tart. Okay,
Yeah.
we've got Privyet, which is a Russian imperial stout from Distill Brewing Company.
It's my people.
We've got We've got Bell's Hop Slam. That's for Tom Brady out of Michigan, where he played college football.
No Cigar City? No Cigar City here tonight?
Next week.
That'll be next week for the Super
He did
Bowl.
promise.
Why even bring Michigan into this?
Next week. Well, because this is a very special beer.
They're having a terrible year.
I'll get into that later. So, and then we also have a beer from Carlsberg Brewing Company. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, I think I'm going to go Russian Imperial Stout with PB and J Cutler.
All right.
Okay, because you get those chocolatey notes.
Sounds good.
Weaving in with that peanut butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then we're going to go Bell's Hop Slam, which is a big double IPA, weaved in with this kiwi and lime.
Okay.
All right, let's dig into this. Which one are we trying first on the food front? You pick.
Well, you said PB. Let's do the PB and J.
PB and
crack
J?
that up. Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Russia.
This bad boy up. So Privyet is from Distill Brewing Company. This is out of Normal, Illinois. And this is their precursor to the award-winning bourbon barrel-aged Dos Vidania Stout. But this is not barrel-aged. It's 11.4%. It's going to hit you with those
Wow.
big notes. those sweet notes, those chocolatey notes,
Well, that's
those
my kind of color.
decadent dark fruit notes.
Is there any like coffee flavor in it? I know a lot of stouts have like coffee.
A lot of them
You know what I
do. There will be a little bit of coffee flavor in this one, but it's going to be a little bit less because the booziness and the sweetness is going to